If you're a millennial, Bam Margera and his gang of erratic miscreants have definitely made an impression on you at some point in your life. The ragtag group of stunt performers who made up the Jackass franchise became well known during its more than 20-year existence. Margera did start working on the movie Jackass in 2020, but filming soon stopped due to COVID, and then he never came back. Let's find out why. First of all, why did he get dropped from the movie? A few new Jackass team members were introduced to the public when Jackass Forever made its theatrical debut in February. Newcomers including Eric Manaka and Rachel Wolfson joined old favorites like Johnny Knoxville, Steve-O, Chris Pontius, Aaron McGillehey, Preston Lacey, Dave England, and Jason Weeman Acuña. But one former Jackass familiar face isn't present in the most recent movie, Bam Margera. According to sources, he was fired from the movie after supposedly testing positive for Adderall. Knoxville lamented his absence in an interview, saying that he wanted him throughout the entire movie, but sadly that's not how it worked out, and that the cast and crew were heartbroken about it. He went on to say that they all wish he accepts the needed help because everyone who is a part of this franchise cares very deeply about him and wants to see him well. Throughout his career, Margera has gone in and out of treatment. On a season of VH1's Family Therapy with Dr. Jen, he talked about his addictions as well as his relationship with his parents, Phil and April. On that program, he admitted to having suicidal thoughts and blamed his drug and alcohol usage on his grief at the death of his best buddy, Ryan Dunn, a former Jackass performer and co-star of Viva La Bam. You might remember that we lost Dunn in a 2011 automobile accident, but it hasn't gone down well. Unfortunately, the way these guys have been making headlines isn't ideal. These masochistic bros were the peak millennial MTV era. First, Margera sued Paramount, Knoxville, and Jackass co-creator Jeff Tremaine for his termination from Jackass Forever, claiming that he was fired unfairly and that he was subjected to psychological torture in the guise of a fake wellness agreement. Then a permanent restraining order was taken by Jackass director Jeff Tremaine against Bam. Margera was let go from Jackass 4 because he refused to follow the rules established by the production, which included regular drug testing and continued treatment. He filed a lawsuit in Los Angeles Superior Court against Paramount, co-star Johnny Knoxville, producer Spike Jonze, and director Jeffrey Tremaine, alleging that he was wrongfully fired and seeking millions in compensation. Bam co-created the video series that served as the basis for the Jackass TV show and feature films, in which he also starred. He claims in his lawsuit that his employment was terminated as a result of a drug test that revealed he was using the prescription drug Adderall. But the thing is, he needed to take the meds to manage his attention deficit disorder, and the people on set were fully aware of this because he'd been taking it for a while. The lawsuit claims that Bam was the only co-star who had his contract terminated because he took the medication as directed to treat his well-documented medical concerns. What about the restraining order? Tremaine was given a temporary restraining order against Margera after the director claimed that the latter had harassed him via text messages and social media. As seen in screenshots and documents obtained by sources, Bam tells Tremaine that the threats he made against the director's kids were from the bottom of his heart. According to the director, the harassment started after Margera was dropped from the impending sequel due to his behavior after a relapse last summer. Tremaine pleaded with the court that he was in grave danger and his family's personal safety is also at risk. Another unsettling allegation states that the skateboarder called a co-worker and asserted while speaking at times in numbers instead of English that he has powers like a wizard and can generate and strike lightning. Margera, whose difficulties with substance abuse and mental health appear to have gotten worse in recent years, released a video on Instagram in May in which he claimed Tremaine and Jackass actor Johnny Knoxville had betrayed, abandoned, and rejected him. Steve-O Glover, a co-star who has notably battled substance abuse, commented under the video, reminding him that the people he's named have not only helped him during his addiction, but also the ones who saved Steve-O's life. He emphasized that they all still love and care for Bam very much and wanted the best for him, but when he'd show up on set after abusing substances, there was very little they could do. The lawsuit was dropped in April this year. His attorneys asked a judge in Los Angeles Superior Court on Wednesday to dismiss his case with prejudice, which means it cannot be brought back later. Whether Margera struck a settlement or decided not to pursue the lawsuit for other reasons is not stated in the court documents. So is he in the movie at all? Even though he only appears in one scene, the good news for his fans is that he is still there in Jackass Forever. Though the fearless skateboarder did record additional footage for the film, all but one of Margera's feats were cut, much to his disappointment. The fact that his name is still listed in the Jackass Forever credits is a telling gesture. He's still regarded by Johnny Knoxville and the film's producers as a crucial component of their team, who deserves all the recognition. The skateboarder was in charge of more than just his own antics, so his role in Jackass Forever went beyond his one scene. Margera wrote and produced many of the action-packed moments that were featured in Jackass Forever, just like he did in earlier films in the series. In his lawsuit, he claimed he felt insulted by this, though believed it to be a theft of his ideas, even if the inclusion of these stunts may have been intended to keep his influence in the movie. Next, let's look at how Bam feels about it all now. Recently, he expressed his thoughts about not being involved in the 2022 movie release, following all the controversy and legal actions that saw the original series star pulled from the cast. In fact, Margera's appearance as a recent guest on the podcast Wild Ride with Steve-O actually showed us that not all of his ties with the cast have soured. Bam had some thoughts on leaving the cast for the movie while talking about how close he came to really returning for the picture and the rehab journey he's been on. The former skateboarder's acceptance of a life outside of Jackass may not be the most telling factor, but perhaps how close he came to rejoining the group is. He looked back on his time fondly, but agreed that the fallout was probably for the best. During the discussion, he made an explicit admission that actions are now considered unacceptable were essentially viewed as good television during the franchise's earliest years. Hearing him come to that conclusion is liberating, knowing the course that events took when Bam was fired. He celebrated a year of sobriety earlier this year, which was a significant milestone for him. Let's hope that he stays in this more positive frame of mind and is able to advance further on his own journey. Now, in other news surrounding Jackass stars, Knoxville's feud continues. Though their wild WWE WrestleMania 38 confrontation may have ended the plot between the stars of Jackass and Sami Zayn, it doesn't mean Knoxville is finished winding up the former Intercontinental Champion just yet. After leaving WWE, the well-known actor continues to trash his opponent in the comments of Instagram postings. Before the WWE Royal Rumble event at the beginning of the year, Zayn and Knoxville began a feud that ended in their WrestleMania match. Both men put a lot of effort into the banter, which even had Zayn showing up unannounced at the Jackass Forever red carpet premiere and being thrown out. Next, Steve-O has been making fans happy. On Monday, visitors at a Buc-ee's in Houston received more than a simply beaver nuggets and a clean bathroom. They were given a show by Steve-O, the star of Jackass, instead. At a Buc-ee's in the town of Wharton, the danger seeker from the film and MTV series was seen on camera amusing customers and skating on a counter. Steven Glover, aka Steve-O, was traveling to McAllen to make a stop on his bucket list tour on Tuesday. Fans can anticipate seeing the comedian do wince-inducing antics often reserved for Jackass movies on the tour, which is being advertised as a multimedia experience. And lastly, here's an update on Bam. Back in June, it was reported that the Jackass actor had disappeared from a Florida rehab facility twice in the space of 2 weeks. According to people close to Bam, part of the reason he left the rehab was because of his divorce from his wife. He's now back in rehab and undergoing treatment. Margera's family updated fans on his condition and warned against the risks posed by the Free Bam movement. They claimed that the movement had created confusion and threat to the family, and they wanted his recovery to be managed privately. That's a wrap for this video. Do you think it was right to remove Bam from the filming? Let us know in the comments below. As always, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.